You have been well trained.
No.
You don't have to carry a sword to be powerful.
I won't fail you.
Or do not.
I'm not afraid.
There is no try.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back for the top 16. The fans have spoken. The people want to see. They want to see the mill deck.
Yeah, I did not do any votes. I just want to throw it out there right now. I didn't add in any of my votes, but I like to see this matchup.
What were you doing during your lunch break?
Not eating lunch. I was playing the new FFG game Keyforge. That game is going to be really fun. It's I had like 8 creatures on the board, but you can't activate unless you choose a house. It's a really fun game. I hope you get the chance to play it. I enjoyed it.
Well, maybe someday.
One day.
One day.
So we got the mill. You know, Andrew playing the 3-wide mill, and Nick is going to be playing the eTalzin eDooku deck. I really think that this is going to be a good matchup for Andrew. I think that Nick is going to might have some trouble with this.
Are you always voting for?
No, I'm just saying. This game is all about matchups. So I think right now this is going to be pretty good. You know, he's only playing mono blue, so his mitigation package is going to be not as heavy as what Andrew can play. So that's one thing that I would, state right from the bat.
For sure. Of course, Nick does have that advantage with both his characters being able to control his die or his opponent's die. Whether he's going to take the risk on his opponent's deck or take the guarantee on his own, assuming that his deck is full of odd-costed cards.
I mean, Nick is definitely, his deck is going to go by. It's going to be pretty quick of what actions he can do, especially with eTalzin. I just, either way, this is going to be a fun matchup. I'm excited to see how it all gets played, but I do think that after this meta, there's going to be definitely some changes to the mill deck because they're going to have to combat these vehicles and supports even heavier now. Mm-hmm. So it's definitely going to be something we're going to be seeing as with the meta unfolds more.
All right, it looks like Andrew has drawn already into a force jump, some mitigation, and we've got to start with the friendly.
The handshake is what it's all about.
It's very important.
Win or lose, it's all about the
camaraderie.
Exactly.
The community. Has absolutely nothing to do with the Hyperloop playmat on the right and the North American Champion playmat on the left.
All right, so they're going to choose Nick's Battlefield. He's going to get some shields. He probably buff up Anakin and Yoda. Yoda's getting the shields. He's probably got some force cards in his hands. Probably help that out.
Kim, no one wants to hear me, but thank you. I appreciate that.
He's got a discard side and a focus. Reveals it binds all things.
That may be better.
Playing against a mill, if you can disrupt their hand, that's going to make it even harder to mitigate naturally down the road, but he's got to worry about the easy pickings, so he might not want to put that to a discard side. Maybe play some range to get some pressure on him. Or resource to get some pay some bills. Force jump. Okay. That's going to help. So he's going to activate, hopefully get that force jump active so he can deal with Dooku's dice.
How critical would you say having that force jump out early turn is going to be for the rest of his gameplay?
Especially if he gets activated before the heavy damage hitters come out. I think it's going to be pretty crucial, especially with the fixing of the die with Yoda. Mm-hmm. That's going to definitely help it out for sure. Gonna go ahead and discard a card. Let's see what he gets.
He gets clandestine operation.
Yeah.
Solid.
He's got the heirloom on there, and since it redeploys if it's on a blue character, either way, it's a win-win for Nick. But he's not going to have to worry about damage.
That's true. And it's nice that in this case, some of the mitigation that a lot of us try to play around when facing certain decks like this mill deck, he doesn't have to worry about that against Dooku, Talzin. And no worry about easy pickings, no worries about entangled.
Exactly. But he's got showing about, 4 damage there right now? 3 damage?
Looks like 2-1 and a focus.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's going to go ahead and force jump this, and he's going to re-roll out, hopefully get another special out, and, the blank, it happens. But
nice.
With Yoda's action, he just changed the die right back to where he needs it.
That's going to allow that other, be able to blank the Dooku die yet again, should he choose to.
Exactly. So strong.
And Nick knows he doesn't want to discard to reroll often in this particular matchup.
Right, he's got to make sure that when he discards, it's going to be true value. Right now, I'm seeing that Andrew doesn't have any resources that I can see. Oh, maybe it looks like he has 2 right next to Yoda. So he does have mitigation. So if he does discard to reroll Dooku, he could just possibly entangle or easy pickings.
Dooku's re-rolled into a 2 melee and a blank.
Definitely would be a good time to entangle, get rid of the 2 and the... But since he's got the force jump, he doesn't have to worry about that.
Right.
But now he's going to have to... He rolled a shield. So now with Dooku's got the focus side, he's going to try to get some damage out, keep applying the pressure to the mill player. He's going to do Force Meditation on Cassian. He's going to take the 2 damage probably to Anakin, or he's going to try to focus it on Cassian because they don't have any shields on him. Man, this is a good turn for Andrew right now.
Yep, setting up his board state, dry it where he wants it. Nick not getting off as quickly this round,
right?
As maybe he would like against this particular matchup.
Yeah, Andrew's got 1 damage on Yoda, but it just having 1 damage on the first turn is pretty good. Still hasn't activated Cassian yet.
He's activating Cassian right now.
Well,
that's
now
classy.
he is. Wow, I just kind of.
It's like you
there's so many plays you can do right now. That was one of them, right? So he's got a resource side showing and a 1 pew pew, and Anakin's showing a discard. So he kind of removed that. He's going to have him discard a card. Got rid of the crystal ball. Got a shield for Yoda again. So does he want to pitch to reroll, or is he just going to try to just get at least a card out? He's going to pitch, trying to get a discard out of his hand, hopefully. Or a resource. Oh, got the discard, so he's going to take 1 from the top and from his hand. Well, dead card for him. It binds all things. He knew it was up there, so he wanted to get that card off either way.
Solid.
I'm going to go with Andrew wins round 1. Let's see what happens here round 2 with Nick here, with how great that play was and all the dang cards he got for him to help out.
Right. When you see the damage distribution here, the middle deck only having taken 1 damage, has 1 shield, so still full health essentially. Nick wasn't able to get off as much damage this first turn as probably he would like, which does set him back. Reading the dice counters that Andrew's using to count Nick's deck, there's 20 cards left.
Right.
So already chewed through 5.
Third of his deck. The math.
The math? You're so good at numbers.
Hey, that's pretty easy when it's only 30 cards, right? All right, so he's going to show
use someone else's hands for them?
Huh? No. I didn't take my shoes off.
Okay.
So he's got 2 damage showing on Talzin on the die, and looks like 1 resource. So he's going to go ahead and pacify that. Get rid of the resource side so he doesn't get the 3 to pay for a possible force wave or force throw.
Oh, smart move.
So you definitely want to, because force wave it hurts. And, we played a little bit earlier and I felt the effects. He plays it and he's got the force wave down.
Yeah, so smart move. So he was able to get the force wave down, but
he
didn't have to sacrifice his ancient. Not
Yeah.
ancient, sorry. Heirloom.
Yeah, he just overrode it because he needs
Heirloom,
to do
ancient.
some.
They're like
It's three.
synonyms.
It's good. Yeah. So right now he's gonna have to play around Force Wave for the rest of the game, unless he can find a way to possibly vandalize it if he has it. So what's gonna probably happen here, if he does have vandalize in his hand, he's gonna activate a character, try to get that out as soon as possible.
Yeah, early first wave is killer against these 3 whites.
So he's gonna activate Cassian with the Force Meditation. Shield and damage.
Maybe he
side.
doesn't have Vandalize. I mean, Cassian would not be the choice to Vandalize because then you'd lose the ability from resolving his die.
Right.
But
You just never know. He might have a Anakin.
oh, he's got a yellow something. That's yep. Looks like Anakin's Pod Racer. That one. What's that one?
I can't see it.
Is that that's overconfidence? Andrew's sitting on overconfidence.
So right now the Force Wave is showing a special side, so he has to manipulate that. He does have 2 resources to pay for it. Taking 6 damage right now would not be good.
Man, a well-timed entangle with the Force Wave and the 3 melee
Yeah.
on Dooku would be awesome right now.
He's going to go ahead and flip special to get rid of the damage side, possibly. Put a shield, flip, force jump, the 3 for 1, or the
2 for nothing. Interesting.
He's going to flip.
He wants to force him to pay for both the die.
Yeah.
So he has no resources left.
Wow. Kind of wonder what he's got in his hand now to combat that. Like, which one is he going to do first? You know, he's going to have to, if he doesn't do the 3 for 1, he's going to lose it. So he's going to put him on that 6 damage.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to have to do it, or he's going to lose that 3 for 1. So Nick's deciding which play to make here, because right now it's going to be crucial to see exactly the sequencing of what he does next. Six for 3, you know, it's kind of... Yeah, he's going to do the 3 damage there. Puts him at 4. If he's able to manipulate that die, either way, he should be able to do some pretty good damage if he doesn't get that mitigated. He does have does he have an overconfidence in his hand? It doesn't look like he does. If he's,
I thought he did, but he's not. He's choosing not to. Come back, hand.
3, 2, 1. 2, 1. So 2 to Cassian and 1 to Anakin.
Mm-hmm.
So he's only got 1 dice to worry about right now. So he's already got his force jump out, so he doesn't have to worry about the damage. Unless he re-rolls Dooku. Gonna claim. Shows heirlooms. Gonna remove the Cassian die.
Mm-hmm.
So the trigger doesn't happen.
Force jump, re-rolled, blanks.
Drops a force illusion on Yoda to protect him. That's a good play there.
Try to get him out one more turn.
Yeah, try to save him at least 1 more.
Discard to re-roll. Anticipate?
Yeah, anticipate. Yeah, that's a card that, because it takes care of a lot more dice.
Mm.
You know, they have to resolve all their dice. If not, they have to remove them.
Mm.
So it's a card that I've been thinking about putting in my deck as well, because right now with all the dice that are going to be in the pool with all these vehicles and support decks, I think it's a good call. So he's only got 1 upgrade. Nick is only showing 1 upgrade on Dooku right now, you know, and Andrew has the Force Jump and the Force Meditation. He's got all the forces.
He does have lots of force.
So
The force is strong with Andrew. who is not doing damage.
Yeah, so right now he's got 7, 8, 10 damage showing total. You know, if he can get some more uses out of eYoda, because, you know, it's just a matter of time, because that's where the focus is going to be at. So he's got to try to get as much as we can out of eYoda before he takes a dirt nap.
Of course, rolling in Dooku now, hoping to see a Force Wave special, and if we don't, we've got a focus already showing. And he's fixing the die.
5 total damage showing.
So he chooses not to leave the focus there, and Entangle comes into play, getting rid of. Great call there to get rid of the 3 side and the blank, so that the Force Wave cannot harm him this turn.
Yeah, it's getting rid of the Force Wave. You know, using 1 card to remove 2 dice is such value, especially the powerful die of Force Wave.
I think players have gotten better about realizing the value of a die regardless of the side it's on, for the potential it could harm later on in a round.
Yeah, and also, too, to remember as well is, you know, if he just, you know, possibly use the eTalzin's ability to focus it back to the special, hopefully maybe letting the other player decide if they need to discard or re-roll to get it. Another way to check on those resources for that.
For sure.
eTalzin showing 2 resource sides. A Force Wave is on top of the deck. So it's something definitely you want to try to get rid of that card as soon as you possibly can. Dealing with 1 Force Wave is bad, but 2 is just, too much.
Pain in the patushy.
Patushy? Wow. You're so vulgar today. All right, so...
And that's where Flames of the Past get coming, right? You get rid of that second Force Wave, and then all of a sudden Flames of the Past get rid of one on the table.
So you got the, you know, discard side, a disrupt, and a shield. He's going to play Unyielding to do unblockable damage to take out eYoda. Such a good card, especially with all the shield buildups. It gets rid of everything. Force Illusion is not even going to be a problem because he can't block it.
Yes, Kim. Tushy.
Well, he got Force Meditation out on Cassian at least to speed up the process of the deck. Looks like he's got, what, 10 cards left in his deck?
7 and 0, so 17.
17, okay.
So, well, at this point, I would say Andrew's probably a little bit behind where he'd like to be.
Right.
Losing eYoda does mean losing a little bit of that mill power off of Yoda's specials. We still have Cassian in here, able to at least ping one off top of the deck. Also sitting on the Force Meditation, who's also able to get the other 2.
Right.
Rolling into Maz's Goggles. Double focus.
He needs to get rid of that top card, that Force Wave, because he's showing 2 resources right now. Next turn, he could pay for it. So either way, he has to get rid of it. If he loses that die, it's going to be rough. So he's claiming, or he's just, he must have missed something there, but just showing what the card is. But he definitely needs to get it off, because at the same time, you know, like I was saying earlier, 2 Force Waves is going to be hard to deal with. So he's going to claim to get rid of that focus side.
Fair. It's going to force Andrew to probably pitch to re-roll. Or focus Annie into a 1 discard. Get 1 out of the hand.
Yeah, he's going to get that top card off anyway now because of Cassian's ability.
Fair.
He's going to get the resource for his troubles. Get rid of the Force Wave. Yeah, it is best of 3.
So Flames of the Past would be killer right now. If
Yeah.
we could draw into it. It looks like Andrew's sitting on a hyperspace jump and a second chance. 2 pod racers just drawn and another entangle. So from a control standpoint, not as many options you probably like.
Yeah, but the entangle is so good, especially to get rid of a Force Wave die.
So Force Speed came down on Nick's side. It's going to help speed up his game a little bit. Cassian rolls into a special on the Force Meditation, which is just a great roll-in for him. 1 discard on Cassian, also solid. And a blank on Maz's Goggles.
Yeah, so he's using all of his resources right now to play out his cards out. So he's got 3 cards left in his hand. He's going to pitch 1, put him down to 2, and mill 1 off the top.
Witch Magic, solid. All in, solid.
13 cards left in his deck. Showing Force Solution to switch the die to a Force Speed special. So getting those 2 actions, he needs to stop that, because if he just activates or resolves a special on ETalzin, he can just go to town with Count Dooku, especially because he can manipulate his own die with Dooku's ability. So this might be the time to play that Entangle. Showing 3 resources. So he's going to get rid of the Force Speed and the 2. So it saves him from having to worry about not being able to, you know, help out on the fact that Dooku could do everything by himself without any kind of interruption.
2 melee. Blank, a resource.
And the
2
2
indirect. And then fixing Dooku's die to a 3 for 1.
So 5, 7 total damage representing right now. Might be, he's only got 1 resource, so he can't hyperspace jump now. He's going to go ahead and take 2 off the top. He is now at 11 cards left in his deck. So he's probably going to focus his attention towards Cassian now, because he's got 5 damage. Yeah, and with the second chance in his hand, he can just overwrite, you know, Maz's got our Force Meditation if need be, but he's still showing 11 cards left in the deck, so it's a little early for it, but of course, if you have no choice, you're going to have to do it. Anakin's rolling out, probably getting himself a resource.
Ooh,
oh, discard.
Nice.
Look at that.
Solid. Yeah, Nick, due to the nature of Dooku's ability, probably is not packing as much mitigation in his deck as a lot of players tend to do these days. We got rid of the Dark Council with that discard off of Annie. Little Annie.
A little Orphan Annie.
That's you've seen the movies, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, just checking.
It's just funny because when you think of Little Orphan Annie, you think of a different movie.
That's what. Oh, yes.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
So back to the game. So he's going to grab the resource from the Dagger of Mortis to get him set up for, you know, the next round, getting 3 resources to start. Right now, it looks like Nick is ahead.
Nice.
Got rid of the blank, because you never know.
Yep. And it gives Andrew initiative this
Gonna have
round.
7 cards left in his deck
which
once
is
he
great.
builds back up to 5.
Now, this particular 3-wide mill deck, you're not often claiming.
No, you're not. And I think right now, you know, with the way the damage has been spread out so far, you know, maybe changing the battlefield, if you do win the roll, would be something to consider in the future with all these heavy hitters coming out.
Nice to see we're down to 7. 7 cards left in deck after that hand draw there. Nick exhausting his entire hand that last, or almost his entire hand that last turn. So I got rid of the 5 cards in hand, and the 7 in deck is what Andrew's looking to do. And Nick's looking to swing about, to his knowledge at this point, 3 plus 4. So 7 damage, but anticipating that there's probably a second chance coming along the way.
Yeah.
Nick's got to know that's about to happen.
So we go ahead and roll out the eTalzin dice and see what happens here. It's got a discard. Is it double discard?
Double discard
Wow.
on eTalzin. What's happening here?
I would definitely go after the hand at this point.
eTalzin fixing the force speed.
Easy.
And he's going to vandalize force speed.
Yep.
Solid.
Doesn't have to take any dice out.
Nope.
Yeah, because he no longer can do it since now Yoda's down.
Mm-hmm.
He drew it late. So it's definitely something that, you know, hopefully, you know, in the second match or second round with these 2 guys playing, maybe he can get it earlier to get that force wave out if it happens again. Because that totally shifts the game is when that force wave is out. You have to use so much mitigation to stop it.
Choosing to discard 1 from hand with eTalzin. Or 2 from hand. Pod Racer and Beguile, your favorite card.
Yeah, that card's so good.
I hear there are people who play 3 or 4 copies in their deck.
Yeah, just, you know, by accident, but like, oh, this is not magic? No, it's not magic. I'm going to run 3 of those.
All right, taking 2 resources and taking one off the deck, which brings him down to 6 in deck. Got rid of an overconfidence.
Yeah, he doesn't have any more overconfidence left. He discarded the other one earlier, so his mitigation is dwindling. But right now he's got so much pressure going on with Dooku, hasn't even rolled yet.
And the question is, when is Andrew going to get this flame to the past? Because that was what he needs to get rid of, that force wave.
Right.
It may be too late at this point. But the second chances can really can bring him back. He's sitting on 4 resources, so he can play the second chance outright.
Right.
Instead of having to overwrite his valuable upgrades there.
Or depending on what he rolls, it just jumps.
Is he claiming again?
No, he's just
checking.
So he's probably going to jump, yeah. So now he'll shift possibly the battlefield to get it so he can actually take card out of his hand. And now...
in the turn, so it's essentially removed all those dice.
5 cards left in deck. He's going to be back up to 5 in hand, 5 in deck.
Force Meditation. Hidden Motive.
Now Nick has got his eTalzin die, the Force Bead, the 2 Dooku dice, the dagger, and the Force Wave out. All right. So he goes out and rolls out Cassian, Ancient Lightsaber. Ugh, that card is such a thorn, especially for Mill. Whenever you have to try to get rid of it, nope, play right back on my deck. Grabs a resource from Maz's goggles. Reveals Isolation. Force Speed is at the special. So he's got to stop that so Dooku doesn't get free reign. He's got 4 resources, so he might just want to put second chance down just to try to see if he can live through it. Yep, because he can't do anything with that 4-speed die. He's just going to say, okay, swing away. Activate the resolve the special. Dooku's going to do some damage. Let's see what we got here. Ooh. Wow. So just a 3-for-1. Interesting. That is a crazy roll right there. Anakin's at 3 health and Cassian's at 7 with a second chance on there. So, I mean, maybe have him pop it up. Pop the second chance for Cassian at least. So he's gonna.
Now Nick's starting to worry a little bit, counting his own cards to make sure that the dice that Andrew's got over there is accurate. 5 cards left in hand in the deck. And now with that second chance on the table, Nick does see a way out for Andrew.
Yeah, he did put a hidden motive on Dooku's die to get rid of it. Yeah, we're not sure exactly what he did for his second action as well. So all I do know is that the hidden motive was played soon after. It is possible Nick may have missed it.
Rerolled his die. Dooku, 2 melee, a shield, and a shield on the 2 daggers. The stick and the dagger. The saber and the dagger.
Anakin is down. Going to pitch the Force Meditation. It's a dead card. It's claim and get rid of the easy pickings out of his hand, which is a really good card to get out. All right, so he has only, what, 3 cards? He has 1 left in his deck. And I didn't see him discard another second chance, so he might have the other one. That's 10 minutes. All right. So he's going to go ahead and activate eTalzin first. I haven't seen any chance cubes. So he's running chance cubes. Ancient lightsaber.
Of course.
Wow, he needs to get that off as soon as possible. Because he's going to just... There you go. He's going to get rid of the blanks.
2 blanks.
He ended up having his other one discarded, so having that second easy pickings definitely helps. Alright, so he's going to take a card out, get rid of the bartering, which would have been really good for him. Specifically, is to get that extra card out, draw more cards to help him out, get the resources.
eTalzin not going to do much work this turn, so the hope is that Dooku can pull off 5, 6, 7, 8 damage, which is possible.
But he can get rid of 1 card of his hand and get the other card out. Ooh, that's good.
That is good, because now that's going to save that Ancient from coming into his hand.
Wow.
Which does mean Nick will most likely survive another turn.
Unless he pitches to re-roll to get that Force Meditation.
Fair.
I mean, it's got 2 special sides.
Yeah, of course, milling cards from hand is probably the most challenging part when he gets the end game here for mill players.
What's that? I'm sorry?
Getting cards getting cards out of hand.
Yeah, that's the late game, but he got his battlefield chosen now, so if anything, he can use that to get a card out of his hand. So he's going to pitch to re-roll, hopefully get a special. Nailed it. So now he's going to have to apply the pressure with Dooku. Damage.
3. Is that a 3?
Ouch.
2 plus 3. That is so much lethal.
That hurts.
Well, no, it's not lethal. Hold please. Math's wrong because, of course, second chance is out here, so he's got to use the modifier with the +2. So there we go. So there's the 6, and then the 3 of the pop second chance. So this is lethal, showing if Andrew can do something about at least one of the solid sides.
He has 4 resources remaining, so he's going to have to stack his triggers here, because what he can do is just do the 3 with the Force Wave, pop it, and then finish him off.
Yeah. Well, I think there's enough melee. Beguile.
That card. Well-timed Beguile.
Beguile is a card. I think there's 3 choices you have to make, right? You have to re-roll 1.
Re-roll.
See what it gets. What do we get?
Turn a die to a different side.
Ah.
Oh, that's good.
Now we're going to turn a die to a side.
Well, he's got to get rid of that focus.
You think?
I mean, he's got to do something with it. He's got to either turn it to a different side or remove it.
He's going to blank the Force Wave, which is still only, at this point, only 3 damage. And then he's removing the Dooku die. So now if he used the focus on the dagger, he would get a solid side, which would only be enough to trigger a second chance, because they has to be put with the modifier. There's no other sticks on the table with Force Wave. So I think Andrew did, perhaps, unless Nick decides to discard a reroll.
Well, it all depends also what he has in his hand, too.
What Nick has in his hand, or Andrew?
What Andrew has in his hand. Because he's allowing it to happen where, hidden motive. Calling special.
And it hit a resource side.
Yeah, he can't pitch any more cards. He's got to hold on to his hand. He's got 1 card left in his deck. He's going to have to just take the resource. So he claimed.
Got rid of that ancient. So now Nick is sitting on how many cards in hand? 2?
2, but he gets to go first. And Talzin's ability is not going to be any good now, but I guess he just scooped.
Who scooped?
I think Andrew scooped. I think they were trying to figure out the time. I'm gonna go with that. He scooped because of time.
You think?
Yeah.
35 minutes?
I think what he had in his hand was no mitigation, probably. So I don't think there's nothing he could have done. That's what I'm gonna go with. Let's go with that.
I mean, we can go with that.
All right. Who's calling judge?
Next call on judge. Let's turn up the room audio and see if we can hear anything.
All right.
I'll give you guys a 2-minute.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's all about timing now.
That's tough shit.
You hung on there at the end, and like with all this mitigations, it was nice, but just a little.
Yeah.
Couple cards. I thought maybe if you were able to get the pod rates out, but you couldn't do it. I guess.
Because now Mill has to win 2 straight games
Slowed
against,
down.
A time. Because right now, even though Mill's gotten faster, you still have to win 2 games within that 90-minute time frame.
Ooh, look at all of Andrew's messages.
Hey, this is only round 2.
Yes, this is round 2. Yes.
Okay, how many more are there?
There's 4 rounds total, 3 games in each round. 5 rounds total,
Yeah.
3 games in each round.
Oh, 4 rounds.
5. A lot, yeah, probably about 6-7 hours of Destiny. A lot of Destiny.
All right, so they're going to be setting up here to start the next round 2 of best of 3 with Andrew conceding the first match due to time. There's 52 minutes left in the game for this best of 3, so he's probably deciding that this took a lot longer than he wanted to. So he's going to definitely work on, I guess, trying to, he's going to have to win faster.
Nick needed a potty break.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, he just ran from that direction. So.
Well, knowing that he had that, maybe that's why he called the judge over. Hey, I got to go.
See, even the chat has made that assumption. Fair.
That's cool. Well, they probably gave him like a couple minutes. If you're playing Destiny for, a couple hours in the day and you need a break, especially for 2 out of 3, it takes a long time.
You want us to? We might add a minute or 2 to the extension just for the disc.
Second chance trigger would interrupt. Like, you just need to clarify the interrupt.
Well, I just wanted to, I use the restroom, so I just wanted to get like a minute or something for an extension. I also had a question about a rule, just to double check. All in, and do you want to bring out second chance?
So if I have second chance on Cassian, can he all in to kill Cassian through the second chance? Yeah. Like, does the second chance trigger versus the all in?
I think he killed him.
Let's let him go.
Okay, so you're asking if during the course of him resolving all his
So let's say I have whatever. Let's say I have 6 damage and he has 10 damage showing.
Yes.
Can you do 5 pop and then kill him with the all in, or would the second chance trigger after his all in is completed? Does that make sense? Does the question make sense?
Yeah. Sure.
I believe if I'm hearing this right, he wants to know if the all-in trigger would happen before the before activation. I would think the before activation would trigger first, so he would be able to keep the damage off, and then if he has enough damage to leave, he should be able to take him out.
Then second chance would trigger, he'd heal back up, and then he continue resolving. So that would end up killing him.
That sounds great.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought too. I thought because before
If you're resolving one at a time,
right.
he's taking
You want to say 4 minutes?
You don't quit doing it.
That's right.
So you probably heard there was a 50-minute official time and round call for the rest of the players. I do believe Nick had asked for a 5-minute extension with the restroom break if I heard that correctly as well. I'm just
Right.
I'm overhearing conversations.
But I think it's also
we're
with
eavesdropping with our microphones.
Yeah, and I think it was mainly because they wanted to figure out this ruling as well with the second chance and all in. You know, the whole thing with second chance, it says before this character's defeated, all in says you keep resolving dice. Yeah, the trigger will still happen, but you still get the resolve of the rest of your dice with the all in.
Right.
So you just want to know how it would stack. So that's why he conceded that, thinking that it was going to happen either way. But either way, the 50 minutes is 55 minutes is probably going to have 54, 55. So he's going to have to win 2 matches in 55 minutes. It's possible.
It is possible.
But it's going to be right down to the wire. He has to have an aggressive opening hand, Force Meditation or Pod Racer, and you have to play differently if you're a mill player, especially if you're playing 2 out of 3 at this kind of format.